few weeks ago, I came across a musical called Rooms, a Rock Romance that I'd never heard of before, and I figured, oh, I definitely have to listen to that. Then, of course, I forgot to listen to it, and it wasn't until last night that I remembered it existed. So I thought to myself, right, I have a bit of a YouTube and I'll see what I can find, and this is what I thought. I had no idea what to expect, but as soon as I opened the YouTube video, I saw the name Leslie Kritzer and I was like, I'm ready. I'm so ready. I am obsessed with her at the moment because of Beetlejuice. I love Beetlejuice, the musical, and everything about it. And she's in it, she plays Delia, and she's just fantastic. I've been following her on Instagram, watching all her stories, watching her Broadway.com vlogs, and she's just the best. So I thought, right, anything with her in is going to be good. So I was ready. I was really excited. I literally knew nothing about this show. I'd never heard of it before. I tried to look it up beforehand, but I figured I would just listen to it and let the music tell me the story itself. So the first song, no idea what was going on, apart from the fact that I was like, these are very suspect accents. It took me a long time to realise they were actually meant to be Glaswegian, because I wasn't sure if they were from Ireland or Russia. They were very suspect accents, but as the story moved forward, that didn't matter because it was so good. Everything about it was so good. I literally couldn't believe how amazing this show is. So in a nutshell, the story is about two people, Ian and Monica, who are from Glasgow, and it's about them forming a rock band, a kind of punk band, and their adventures with that. And then of course they fall in love, and it's all about their lives and how they unravel and what happens to them. And that sounds really boring, but listening to it, it's insane. Everything about it is absolutely insane. I can't even describe how good it was. It was just so good. So from the get-go, the music was super good, super engaging, really good, really detailed, great orchestrations, and I thought, right, I can get behind this. I really like this. So I would say that the overall theme of the music at the beginning is like punky, rocky, folky, musical theatre, all at the same time, all in once. It's kind of like, Tick Tick Boom meets Once meets Rent all together in a big smush, but it's great and it really works. So yeah, as I listened to it, I realised that even though each song has a similar theme throughout, all the music somehow manages to be different. They've got different vibes, different feels, different styles, all interwoven into the same rock, folky kind of thing, but it still borrows sounds and vibes from different genres of music, and it just works so well. It sounds confusing, but it's really not. It really works. So, following the classic structure of a musical, the third song into the show is an I Want song sung by Leslie Kritzer's character Monica, and it's all about how she's a young girl and she wants to escape her life in this small town in Glasgow and make it big and be famous and make something of her life. I was thinking only two things when I heard this song. Number one, this is a super good audition song. The show is packed full of amazing audition material. There's only two people in the cast, two characters, so each song is either a solo or a duo. So there is so much fantastic cabaret material and audition material, so that's a good tip. The second thing I was thinking whilst listening to this song was something I knew already from listening to Beetlejuice, but it was that, oh my goodness, this girl can sing. Leslie Kritzer is an insane singer. She's so good. Her voice is so soulful and strong and powerful. She's got a classic mix of musical theatre and rock and pop, everything all in one. Her belt is so strong. It's such a commanding voice. It's like, has so much presence, and it's just so good, and it works perfectly in this song. Through watching some videos about the show, I found out that the writer pretty much wrote this show with Kritzer in mind for the role, so that makes a lot of sense when you hear this song, because this song is literally perfectly constructed for her. Others could sing it, but this song is written for her and she slays it. It was so good. So from Bring the Future Faster all the way through to the song called Let's Go to London, I was a little bit uncomfortable because every 5 seconds I just kept thinking, these accents are actually awful. Especially in the song, Friday Night Dress is what it's called, which is when Ian meets Monica's parents for the first time at her house, and she's wearing a dress and she looks really nice, and they're having dinner together. The accents are actually abysmal, they're so terrible. And I kept on thinking, I don't know how much longer I can listen to this. I absolutely love the song so far, but these accents are so bad, they're throwing me off. I don't know if I can do it. But I stuck to it, and it was worth it. Although I did want to stop listening to it because of these accents, I thought to myself, no, I've got to keep going. And that was because of the insane harmonies in this show. I love a good harmony. I'm a big harmony fan, and these did not disappoint. Doug Krieger, who plays Ian, has an incredible voice. He's so versatile. He can do so many things with his voice. And him combined with Leslie is just stunning. The harmonies are insane. Every duet they did has some sort of mad harmony, riffy, amazingness section, and I loved it. And I thought to myself, I've got to see this through. I've got to keep going. I've got to listen to it. And I did, and I'm glad I did. One word I would use to describe the middle section of the album is bizarre. So it started off normal, everyday, boy meets girl, I have a dream, let's conquer this kind of thing. You get to the middle of the story and suddenly it just completely strays from everything they've just been talking about. And there's a song called, what's it called? Let me find out. It's called Scottish Jewish Princess. I was not ready for this song. So it's Leslie talking about, I don't even know what, talking about the fact that she has 17 boyfriends and that she sees them all the time and has different flings with different people. But then suddenly there's a girl called Susie or something who kisses her and she can't believe it, and now she's bi, and the whole song's about being bi and how she's scared to tell her parents, and then that's it. After that song, her being bi is never mentioned again. And I was so confused. I suddenly thought I've been transported to some sort of parallel universe, a different show now, because it was just nuts. Out of nowhere, this mad song about her being bi and then just nothing. It was nuts. It was nuts. But in a good sense, I still loved it. I was still hooked. But yeah, that made no sense and came out of nowhere and never came back, which is kind of annoying, but you get past it. So I've got to take a second to focus on the songs and how well these songs are written. Each song is written so powerfully and with so much character that you can literally feel the characters of these people reaching out of the phone and grabbing you. You can just feel their energy, their personalities, everything. You can just feel it. It's so strong. It's conjured up incredibly through lyrics, through vocal acting, and most importantly through composition. And it's just so good. I haven't listened to a show for a long time in which you got so much information about the characters just from listening to it. I've often read about it beforehand in detail or seen videos, seen photos. I was seeing absolutely nothing. I had no idea what their set looked like, the lighting, the costumes, the theatre, nothing. I knew absolutely nothing. Yet I could completely picture these people, what they looked like, what they were wearing, what hair they had, how old they were, where they were, what time of day it was. Everything about it was just perfectly conjured purely by ear, and that's really rare. I don't hear that very often. So that was very effective. So as the music progresses and we get further and further into the album, the music changes and becomes more and more punky. It goes from being more folky empty to being punk rock. And that's because Ian and Monica want to create a punk band. And this comes out of nowhere as well, but again, it's still effective, it still works. Just anywhere, just out of nowhere, sorry. They're like, oh, we're going to have a rock band, let's do this is my dream, we're going to be amazing, let's try and get a record deal and compete in these competitions and try and become the next big thing. And they do. They win a big competition, and the prize is to move to London and to get their record produced in London, which is what they do. And as soon as that happens, the songs start having lots more punky elements to it, and it's really effective because you're now understanding the story through the actual lyrics of the show. If you're watching it, I'm sure through set design, what's it called? Animation, no, projection is what it's called. And you're also getting it from the music itself, and that's really clever. So they get to London, they get to the recording studio, and they slowly transition into the next big thing. They get really famous and they form a duo called the Diabolicals. Now, as soon as this happens, they're a big famous punk band, they're at #1 in the charts. They have kind of Rolling Stones kind of vibes. You can imagine what's happening to them in terms of what they're exposed to, who they're meeting, what they're buying, what they are taking. And it's so incredibly, incredibly captured in the music. The orchestrations at this point are absolutely insane. So every now and then in the songs, especially the songs that Ian, the man, is singing, the way the piano is played, it's really eerie. It's really like it makes your skin crawl a little bit. But the way it's played, it sounds exactly how I would imagine somebody's head to feel when they're high and drunk and they're up all night, doing all sorts of crazy things, living the life of a rocker. It's very eerie and it feels like your head is spinning, and that's exactly how you imagine Ian's head to be. He's very confused, he's very conflicted. I'm sure he's dealing with a lot of different things, lots of new experiences, and also we learn that he didn't really want this punk band to happen. It was more Monica, but he's so in love with her that he's gone along with it and allowed this to happen. So you really feel his anguish and confusion throughout these songs, purely just because of the piano, because of the way it messes with your head. It's really, really good. It literally has your head spinning. It feels like you're on some sort of trip. I was just lying there in my bed, but I was like, the whole time because of how well this music is written. I'm not sure how long the span of this musical is, whether it's weeks, months or years, but these characters have an absolutely insane arc. They really, really grow from young people to adults, especially with the things that they're going through. So as the story goes on and on and on, you definitely sense a lot of growth, a lot of maturity in the characters. A big reason behind this feeling of growth throughout the show, especially in the latter part of the album, is purely down to Doug and Leslie's incredible, incredible vocal acting. These people are so, so good at what they do. You can't see them, you absolutely cannot see them, you don't know anything about them, yet you know exactly what they're trying to say. You get emotion, you get subtext, you get facial expression, purely through what you're hearing because of the way they do it, the way they place emphasis on certain words, weight on certain words, they pull back, they let everything out, they hold it back. Whatever they're doing, I don't know what they were doing, but whatever it was incredible. And it also created a lot of tension. There's a part in the show where, I'm not going to reveal it, but something really, really, really big is revealed. Something very mature, very happens. And it shook me to the core because I did not see it coming whatsoever. Potentially, maybe if I could see them, it would have been more obvious because of how the actress would have been holding herself, her posture, her body language. But upon hearing it, I was shook. I had absolutely no idea. And I think a reason why it struck such a chord and hit me so hard was because of her incredible delivery of the words. So the song leads up to this big moment, and then she just drops this bombshell of what she's going to say. And I just couldn't believe it. And it's said with so much pain and fear and anguish, and it just struck so hard, it hit so hard. It was absolutely, absolutely incredible. I'm fully aware that I have said this show is amazing so many times now. I'm pretty sure that nearly every clip I've ended with, oh, this is amazing, this show is so good, it's so good. But it really, really is. I have nothing else to say. You have to listen to it if you watch this video. It's so, 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 so good. When it started, I really did think, I don't like this, I can't sit through this, these accents are bad, it's weird, it doesn't make any sense. But it soon became, honest to God, one of the best things I've ever heard in my life. It's so powerful, it's so effective, the music is written so well, it's been so well thought through. That's one thing I can definitely say, that it's really been well thought through. There's no plot holes, there's nothing apart from the whole I'm bi song that happens and then isn't resolved, which happens a lot in musicals. I feel like composers often will write stuff and add things in and then never resolve them, never tie up the loose ends, and they'll think, oh, it's a musical, nobody cares, you know, they'll be singing and dancing and it'll be fine, and they'll forget, and I never forget, and it really annoys me. But this didn't happen in this. Everything that was said for a reason. Words that were used earlier, phrases, musical themes came back and were changed. So, for example, Kritz's amazing Bring the Future Faster song, which is sung in, it's not Act 1, but what would be Act 1 if there was an interval, the earlier part of the show when she's younger, more green, more naive. that comes back when she's now dropped this big bombshell and she's moved forward a whole heap of milestones, and now she's dealing with a completely different reality, and the same theme is brought back, the lyrics are brought back, but again, because of her incredible acting, because of her mad character arc and the stakes that are now there and how the stakes have been raised, this same phrase and the same lyrics that were sung before, so full of youth and full of life, it's completely different. It's completely different, and it's so effective. I love when that happens and when that really strikes a chord, because it really does. She's singing the same things, but you realise how much she's changed, how much she's evolved, and how nothing is the same anymore, and it's really good. Another point I wanted to address was tension. Now, this is done so fantastically. And again, I want to bring around the fact that I wasn't watching this. I couldn't see any of this. A lot of the time when you watch a show or a play even, tension is created with the atmosphere of the theatre, with silence, with body language, with people looking at each other and pausing, and intensity through the eyes and all that kind of thing. But this is purely going by ear. Yet the tension that's created is insane. So of course, like all couples do, like all partners do, because they work together in their business, there starts to be arguments. There are a lot of arguments. They have a lot of differences, a big falling out, and you get that through music. You 100% get that. The way the arguments are written are really good. They just come back and forth, and it's so strong. There's so much strength, so much woe, so much power and grit to it. The only song I could think of to explain is Halloween from Rent, where they have the big fight at Angel's funeral, and you've got Roger and Mimi really going at it, and then Joanne and Maureen going at it and at each other's throats. That is what this feels like, and it's so well done. You feel so much pain for them. You can feel the pain just oozing out of the phone the whole time. They're really hurting. They're really upset. They're dealing with a lot of different things, and you feel it. You really feel it. It's really good. I haven't experienced this in a long time, and I'm so happy that I found it. And suddenly, although these accents were still absolutely awful, it didn't matter anymore, because I was so invested in these people's lives and the story and what was going to happen, that it all went out the window. And it almost seemed like as they got older and as the show got more and more intense, the accents got better. They didn't, but it seemed like they did, because it had been in my brain so much, the back of my head, the whole show. This is so good, but these accents just need to be cleaned up. But it got to this point and it didn't matter at all, because this is how strong and how good it all was. One of Ian's songs in particular, towards the end, which is called Clean, is so fantastically crafted in terms of guitar. So he's super conflicted. It's probably his most conflicted point during the show. He just doesn't know what he wants. He doesn't know what to do, what to feel. He's very confused. And his mood is ever changing. He's having loads of thoughts coming into his mind all at once, and he keeps on changing how he feels. And that is exactly what happens with the music. So when he's more calm and his thoughts are flowing more regularly and he's, more relaxed, it's all acoustic guitar. And then as soon as he starts to get more agitated and more upset, it instantly turns to electric, and it just flows, and it just comes out of nowhere like BAM! You're smacked with this massive intense guitar, which is exactly how he's feeling. He's got anxiety at this point. He's got so many things racing through his mind, and it all goes together so perfectly. Music and art just come together, and you just get it. You feel it. You feel it in yourself, and it's so good. Again, with that, it's so good, but that's all I can say. All I can say is that it's amazing. Everything is so well thought through, so well crafted, so much time and effort has gone into this. They've really sat down and they've thought about it. They've thought, does this song progress the story? Yes, let's have it. Does it not? Let's chuck it. By the end of the show, I was literally lying on my bed at 1 a.m, just paralysed with emotion, thinking to myself, why am I feeling such intense emotions for people that I cannot even see, that I have no idea anything about? Why am I feeling so much for these people? It was mind-blowing. It was such an incredible experience. I really strongly recommend that you watch this. Anyone who watches this video who likes musical theatre, please just watch it, because it's an absolute masterpiece. So the show premiered in America in 2009 and it has been on in the UK. I don't remember when. I think around 2014, I think I found. But I want it to come back so badly. As I was listening to it, although I was absorbing the story and listening to it as much as I could and being obsessed with it, I was also thinking about who I would cast in it if I saw the show, and I'm not sure yet who I would cast as Ian, but hands down I would cast my favourite, Christina Bennington, as Monica, because she could do that justice. She really could. She could give it the depth and the grit that this character requires, and the vocal gymnastics. Oh, it's ridiculous. And yeah, I think she could do that. So I'd really love to see the show, and definitely in a small, intimate location like Southwark Playhouse, maybe Menya Chocolate Factory. God, I want it to come so bad. I'd love to see it. So yeah, that was my really quick review of the show. That being said, I don't know how quick that actually was. I'll find out when I edit it. But I just had to talk about it. I listened to it for the first time last night, and I'm going to listen to it for the rest of my life, I think. I loved it so much, and I just wanted to vent to someone, somewhere, how much I loved this show. I don't know if anyone's going to watch this video, but if they do, I really hope that you listen to this show, because it will change your life. I promise you, it will change your life. It's absolutely incredible. If by some miracle you've watched this video and you liked it, please share it with your friends or with someone you think would like it, and subscribe, because I'll be posting more soon. Thank you. Bye.